At this point, there are a couple hundred cases of ACC diagnosed each year. It's extremely aggressive cancer, and there's really only one approved treatment at this point, which is very ineffective for most people, myself included. I will personally, and directly impacted by why we're all here today, I'll personally be starting a clinical trial next week at Sloan.
The situation is, for lack of a better word, hopeless. But Cycle for Survival and the research that comes from all of the unbelievable fundraising efforts done here gives us a way to find hope in an otherwise dire situation. Whenever we talk about the future of my mom's illness as a family, we always remind ourselves that the longer she stays strong and alive, the closer all of the doctors at Memorial Sloan are getting to finding a cure that can keep her with us longer. This is why I, my sister here, my dad, and our unstoppable 30-person team rides to give families like ours hope and something to fight for.
Memorial Sloan Kettering is one of the most amazing places in the country and the world, producing that research that then informs treatment, not just of patients at Memorial Sloan Kettering, but around the country and around the world. And because of that, in my own story, my mom was able to be there for my high school graduation. She was able to be there for my college graduation. She was able to be there for my medical school graduation. She was able to meet and grow to love like her own son, my husband. She was able to be at our wedding. She was able to meet her 2 grandsons. So that's what research does, right? It gives people hope, and it gives people those moments with their loved ones, both the big moments and the little ones along the way.
I specialize in treatment of appendix cancer, which is a rare disease. In fact, most of my patients tell me when they're diagnosed that they've never even heard of appendix cancer. And because appendix cancer is so rare and it's part of the intestinal tract, we really treat it like colon cancer. It's really common, it's in the same area. So all of our treatments for decades have really been just focused on chemotherapy that we use for colon cancer, not really paying much attention to the fact that this might be actually a completely different disease, and we really don't know much about it at all. So with the help of actually with Cycle Survival funding, we've been able to try to redefine this disease and actually figure out what it is and what drives it. And what we're looking at is specifically genetic alterations, so like molecular markers, mutations in appendix cancer. And what we found is that it's actually completely different than colon cancer. So it's really suggestive that this disease is different, and therefore that treatment should be different. And the most exciting thing about that, of course, is that we're going to apply the treatments then to our patients and hopefully improve outcomes and cure this disease.
Becoming part of Cycle for Survival has been exciting, powerful, and an inspiring experience for me and my family. Cycle for Survival is a reminder that everyone has a story and that everyone is affected by cancer in some way. It also shows us that we are not alone in this battle. Today I ride for Peter and all of those in the world who have battled, are battling, or have beaten this awful disease. I ride because I know my brother is with me every day. I ride to show support to this community and to get us closer to the end of cancer forever.
We know there are many different kinds of tumors out there, and we're trying to find out why certain ones grow in certain ways. And we're now learning that there can be certain types that are treated with something as simple as just taking a pill that goes in and blocks the way that that particular cancer can grow and metastasize. So, number one, that's an absolute huge advance. And just this week, I saw a patient that was a local oncologist from upstate New York called me and he said, I have a patient, she's had this drug, she's had that drug, she's had another drug. I don't know what else I can do for her. And I said, come down to Sloan Kettering, we have a clinical trial for you, and this is something that Cycle for Survival money is helping support. She had a certain kind of melanoma, and we were able to give her a combination of pills, and it's only available because of what we're doing here today. So she had that fantastic option. Thank you so much for that.
Bloomberg has been a proud supporter of Memorial Sloan and its important work since 1994. Every day at Bloomberg, we team up with so many of you in this room to move markets and make a difference. And tonight, we're excited to extend that participation and teamwork to this very, very important cause.
For those of you who have been listening to President Obama, State of the Union, and later in speeches and initiatives, you've heard that there is a new effort called precision medicine that has been launched and is beginning to be funded. Well, guess what? We have been deeply involved in these discussions, and we had a number of meetings with Vice President Biden, Charles Sawyers, and myself. And as what we were explaining, he was asking us, what does the field need? As we were explaining what the field needs, actually it came to our mind that we were talking about cycle without even mentioning it. We were talking that cycle is what is moving the field forward by doing work in rare cancers. We were talking about the importance of sequencing tumors, the importance of data sharing, the importance of making sure that all the discoveries that are being made in every single one of our laboratories are being translated into patient care, and that physicians and patients from around the country have access to these new therapies.
Perry's story is a very remarkable one. She's 15, she's a 3-time cancer survivor, and were it not for the incredible doctors at Memorial Sloan Kettering, there's a good chance she might not be here today, which is why our family is such a passionate supporter of Cycle for Survival.
My name is Perry Zimmerman. I'm in 9th grade and I'm a 3-time rare cancer survivor. Our family has participated in Cycle for Survival for 7 years, and it is one of my favorite days of the year. It is our way of giving back to the doctors at MSK who helped save my life. Cycle for Survival makes a huge impact on everyone who has fought and is fighting cancer. The money raised by all of you makes diseases previously untreatable now very treatable. I know there are many people out there who are not as lucky as me. Too many people are still not beating cancer. With your tremendous support, we can all turn this around.
I moved here 2 years ago from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine in Baltimore to start a new pancreatic cancer research center. And one of the reasons I did is because I knew there was this remarkable community that was dedicated to giving us support. And now our center has over 100 members and is making a difference in the lives of pancreatic cancer patients. Pancreatic cancer is a rare cancer. There's about 50,000 cases per year, and this compares to hundreds of thousands of cases of lung cancer, breast cancer, and colon cancer. But because pancreatic cancer is so lethal, it is currently the 3rd leading cause of cancer death in the country, and is slated to become the 2nd leading cause by the end of this decade. So we need bold, new, innovative thinking, and that's exactly what Cycle for Survival has allowed us to do. We purchased a high-throughput genome sequencer, and we've now sequenced the entire tumor genomes of over 200 patients with pancreatic cancer. And this is allowing us to now know that pancreatic cancer isn't just one disease, it's many diseases of different genetic flavors, and we're learning that each of these sub-diseases can be treated differently now very effectively. So Cycle for Survival has also funded a clinical trial for patients with pancreatic cancers whose tumors have certain mutations. And it used to be that the response to therapy in pancreatic cancer was essentially 0. In our trial, 2/3 of all the patients had dramatic shrinkage of their tumor, and many are still on therapy without any evidence of disease. So we're working towards our goal of curing an incurable disease thanks to the help of Cycle for Survival.
When someone's battling cancer, they're not fighting alone. Just like my sister, she made it through that last bit because she felt like she wasn't alone. That's what got her through it. It's not one battle, it's one fight. We're all fighting together. It seems insurmountable if it's just you against cancer, but what if it's us against cancer? All of us in this room, all of us that aren't in this room against cancer.
I am a walking, talking, thriving example of what cancer research and the advancement in cancer treatments does. In May of 2013, I was diagnosed with a rare form of stomach cancer called GIST, which stands for gastrointestinal stromal tumor. My doctors in Northern Westchester quickly referred me to Sloan Kettering, and on a Friday afternoon, I met a wonderful surgeon by the name of Dr. Vivian Strong. And walking into Dr. Strong's office, I was full of fear, understandably. We've come light years in surgical procedures. Although you have a large tumor, we're going to be able to get it. I'm very confident of that. And sure enough, she was right. And she